I have this question for you. So while we talk about innovation and we talk about academia in helping shape those solutions and industries,
the companies that are doing these recycling are most interested in this recycling are the mining companies.
Nestlé Energy Solution with my parents.
And I always like coming here because this is one of the few organizations which genuinely strives to.
if we are to set the context for today's discussion, we know that manufacturing industries are predominantly places where we do suffer the most energy loss. And as Hamza explained, that could be in terms of a lot of things, your utilities, your transmission line losses, a lot of other things. So we'll start with you, Tuan. So what do you think are the biggest, in your field as well and in your experience, what are the biggest energy efficiency challenges that you face in the food and beverage industry?
Afternoon, my name is Tuan. I have been with Nestle 28 years, over in engineering, from a few countries. That's not one country I'm looking right now. And energy solution with my parents. Along my career in Nestle Engineering, starting from 10 years ago when I was a food engineer in the food factory in Vietnam, and over every year we have some target. Up to now, this morning, I just sent out one target setting to the factory. I know the people when they receive it, they are mentioned like every year we see some target to reduce. Every year we feel it's not possible, but finally we can achieve it. So this is just a few things about it. Back to your question, in terms of challenge, I think I've been here 2 years. What I can comment on is the fact that I was factory. I did not visit any food factory outside Nestle, so my comment just take that question. So the first thing I think challenge is equipment required. Some equipment required, some technology required. And that's why the efficiency is not very clearly in one part of my factory, the session program. And the second challenge I see is about measurement metering. You cannot measure, you have to know where we are and how to set the target, especially measure according to product category, processing line. This is where I see the challenge because maybe the old installation is not allow us to have dedicated meter for dedicated line. Here and there we connect steam and power supply. So now if we would like to measure, we have to reuse the factory, or we have to redo all the wires. Or we have to put more meter than we aggregate. Because challenge I can see. The third challenge I see, the more difficult one I see is that yes, energy price here is high. But that's also the motivation to do the energy saving, right? But it comes with investment.
It is a very important question about the next layer of conversation, right? Which is how we plan to scale it, but in a sustainable manner. So what do you think that, what are some of the challenges that we as a country should be looking out for in the next couple of years?
All right. Well, thank you very much for the question. Very interesting question and very pertinent one. Look, the waste is problems already here. I mean, it's not something new. We already have a lot of, you can say, talk about solar panels and batteries that are incoming. But, Pakistan has produced about $500 million of phones and recycled them already. So what happened to those 500 million batteries, we don't know. But of course, we do not want to, we would like to find out what will happen to these batteries of solar and EVs and solar panels. Probably what we have to think of it is as a business rather than as a problem. Because these are critical minerals. These are sometimes very expensive, we can say, products hidden in these batteries and others. So, these days, the companies that are doing these recycling are most interested in this recycling are the mining companies, because they say that why don't we just have, instead of opening up a mine that takes almost 12 years before you see the first revenue, not the profit even, and it takes 15 years or more to get the profitability. So why don't we just look at these recyclable items? So I believe that because of Pakistan's large size in terms of its population and the solar and batteries, probably we should look at it as a business and start spending on it right now. That what can we do about it? But before that, there is also work that we can do in order to increase the lifespan of it. So for example, the batteries, I mean, we work a lot on batteries at LUMS. The battery has different, you can say, life cycles. So first life probably takes about 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 10,000 cycles. But you can actually increase the number of cycles by just managing the charging and discharging cycle. So if you don't charge the battery more than 80% and discharge it less than 20%, you can increase the life to almost, you can say, double the life. I'll give you an example of Colombia, where they imported electric buses. And electric buses has a lifetime of 7 years. And the manufacturer gave them a warranty of 7 years, depending on number of cycles. And they said that the depth of discharge, which we also call the state of health, will be 80%, which means that 80% of battery will be usable by the end of the 7th year. But the Colombian municipality did an AI kind of an intelligent charging. And after 7 years, the battery was only, the state of health went down to 95%, which means that they almost increased the lifetime by 4 times. I mean, if we just look at 80% to 95%. So similar thing. And then the second life of batteries also gives you an opportunity. Then the recycling of it, then the refurbishment of it. So I think if we plan well, probably the waste problem, we can delay it. And then while the waste problem starts coming up, we can start looking at it as a business rather than as a problem. Because I mean, when we produce a lot of waste, we can recycle it as well.
I have this question for you. So while we talk about innovation and we talk about academia in helping shape those solutions and industries, we're also under a lot of pressure, increasing pressure to decarbonize. And not incrementally, but obviously at a place. Now this is where strategy, financing and global frameworks they start to integrate. So my first question for you is, what are some of the immediate steps that industries, not just the manufacturing sector, but of course beyond that as well, what are some of the immediate steps that we can start taking as immediate as next year to sort of decarbonize their energy use?
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity here today. It's always a pleasure having this group. And I always like coming here because this is one of the few organizations which genuinely strives to be conscious of their environmental footprint and constantly do things to improve sustainability. The overall situation in Pakistan in general, and not just specific to this group, which I think is quite advanced when compared to the other players in the industry. The immediate things I think I'll take you from my colleague here who mentioned about energy efficiency gain. I think the first thing that you can do is to improve energy innovation.
LUMS Energy Institute works with the government a lot. So we work with almost all the entities, distribution companies, transmission companies, generation companies, policy making institutions. There are 2 parts to the answer. One is that the solar probably tsunami has hit us quite unexpectedly. I have a couple of slides to explain that how big it is. I mean, we cannot just look at the number, find out it's too big. It is bigger than any other country has faced. So that's number 1. Number 2, Pakistan has some resources by virtue of luck that are saving us until now, and those are our 2 large dams, in fact 3 large dams, Mangla, Tarbela and Warsak, if you count it. It's a smaller dam, but still it is. And those dams are helping us to meet the evening ramp up that is happening at, you can say, sunset time. But they cannot go a long way. I mean, there's a limit to that also, because the more solar we come, the more our duck curve, which is the phenomena that we are talking about, is more phenomenal. But again, there is another opportunity that is coming, and that is large-scale storage. So large-scale storage is now becoming increasingly doable. In fact, in Pakistan, before you know it, there's already a battery rush. So we had a solar rush 2 years ago, or it's still happening, but we have a battery rush that is happening. There are companies that are installing megawatt hour upon megawatt hour scale solutions. And if those solutions work, yes, we'll be able to solve that, you can say, the evening ramp up problem. But the challenge for the grid is that those customers are leaving for good. I know many industries that are going totally off grid. So while they were there for the daytime, and they were not there for the daytime, but they came in the evening time, but now they are going for good. That's the bigger problem. So ramp up is a small problem. Loss of sale is another problem. But again, the problem is that the thinking in the power sector is that we are a natural monopoly. Who can touch us? But now there is a resource that is literally free. The marginal cost is free for solar and for wind as well. And now they have a tough competition. And guess what? None of the distribution companies have a marketing and sales department. So they are not in the habit of selling. They're in the habit of people coming to them and taking electricity connections. So there's a lot of paradigm shift they need to understand, and also a lot of, you can say, business model that need to improve from the distribution side. It's going to be a very hard journey. In 5 years' time, if they don't do anything or do business as usual, Pakistan probably will be the first country that will go from a centralized grid to a decentralized grid. And the decentralized grid is downside of the meter. That's not even controllable. So yes, it's tough for the grid. So on behalf of the government, I know one project about BESS that is being commissioned at Jimpir to give a more, you can say, firm capacity factor to the wind corridor. The problem is the government is not designed to, at least Pakistani government is not designed to respond to the changes in technology, into the realities. So they are still quite slow in their processes. Approvals and PEPA rules are taking a lot of time. Just to give you an example of this BESS system, it's just a 20 megawatt hour system. In the largest scheme of things, a very small system. It was approved in 2018, still not commissioned. Expected to be commissioned next year, while many BESS projects are commissioned in matter of few months. So I think I think they are still in their comfort zone. Probably they need to go beyond business as usual to do something. How can we convince them to go do this? I don't know. We are trying to convince the Energy Institute for the past many years, but still finding challenge.
Some people ask the low pressure board to invest in energy from solar. So we're thinking whether we invest battery, whether we invest hydrogen to storage. So in your best feasibility right now in the market, what would you recommend us? So should we try to have some solution for battery storage, or should we wait for when a bit more use and more mature, or should we try hydrogen? In what scale we should think about the water base we have right now, because we have some low pressure board.
I'm not an expert, I'm a student, that's why I'm at a university. The problem with hydrogen is that, so they did this study in Costa Rica, and Costa Rica is quite ahead in hydrogen. So I met a guy from Costa Rica a couple of months ago, and he said that they were thinking of using hydrogen in buses. And they said that because Costa Rica has a lot of water resources, so they don't have that issue of water. So they wanted to have this electrolyzer to convert into hydrogen and then run the buses. And they started the project back in 2017 or 18. And the assumption was that the diesel prices will go up and the electrolyzer prices will go down. He said none of that happened. So while the battery and solar prices have almost crashed, the electrolyzer prices are almost at the same rate that was 8 years ago. So they said that there's no point in going towards that. We were doing a project and we were thinking of producing biogas from, let's say, animal manure, and using that to run the generator so that we can charge for our use case. When we started the project, it was looking quite promising. By the time we went into the design and implementation, the solar plus battery combination was so low that we thought, okay, just forget about it, because it has our complete value chain we have to worry about. What to do, how to get the waste and how to process it, and slurries and everything, what to do with it. So we just went to the battery plus solar solution, because that's so affordable now that, it's a no-brainer to just use it. But again, it depends on your use case, because I know in certain industries, like for example, in certain kind of melting of metals, you cannot use electricity. You have to use gas. So if the use case requires that kind of energy, then yes, that's the only solution we have. But if it can be electric, solar plus BESS is solving a lot of new challenges.